thank you. All right. Now we can chat a bit. Okay, all right. This is really weird. You know, vultures, and I've seen a lot of vultures since I entered the Texas border. A lot of vultures. The interesting thing about vultures is that, well, the reason they spend so much time in the air is because they're so light, because they eat so infrequently. So they're mostly feathers, so a lot of times you'll see them doing this and you think, oh, he's probably gonna land soon and eat, but a lot of times he's thinking to himself, how the fuck am I gonna get down there? And now here's the sad part, and imagine if you had to make the same choice yourself. After dining, and frankly, most vultures that are injured, this is according to the bird rescue, most vultures that are injured were injured while dining. That's kind of sad, to be hit by a car while you're eating. But the problem is once they've landed and they've eaten a lot, they eat so much because they eat so infrequently, they eat so much, they can't take off without throwing up. I know, it's tough. So what a choice. You know, you just had a big meal and you have to lose the whole damn thing just to get back up in the sky again. I think of that all the time when I'm having hard times. Here's another interesting thing about them. That the gas company has started using them to spot gas leaks in the field. Because, you know, well, think about it. You know. They think it's a dead animal, it's just a gas leak, you know. So they gather, you know. Anyway, I find it interesting anyway. Okay. Enough about me. Okay, one last thing. You know, during World War II, they made this is in Germany. You know, they made a soup, like a alphabet soup. You know, and only instead of the alphabet, you know, it was swastikas, and they called it postica soup. Apparently it was very popular in Berlin. Okay. I'm sorry about that one too. Okay. Okay, here's something really interesting. I found interesting anyway. You know, rats don't eat because they're hungry. They're just grinding down their teeth. And if you don't believe that, well, my dad found a rat in a room, a concrete room where there was absolutely nothing to eat, not even a rock. And he'd been in there for 2 weeks and he hadn't had nothing to eat. What happened with his lower teeth, that they'd grown through the roof of his mouth and had come out the top of his head. Yeah, I know. And his uppers had gone down through his chin and they looked like a little goatee. I know. It's hard to find people that are as interested in these things as I am. One last thing. Now, they found out that elephants in India, you know, they have to wear a big bell around their neck so people know where they are all the time. And you can imagine how fucking annoying that must be, you know, especially in the middle of the night when you're hungry, you know. So elephants now scoop up a big hunk of mud and they stick it in the bell to dampen the clapper. And then they go off in the middle of the night and steal bananas. Pretty good. Okay. Well, we were in Oklahoma for a while. Boy, it's weird in Oklahoma. Well, it's weird everywhere when you think of it like that. But I mean, in Oklahoma, I mean, they got laws. There's laws down there that are still on the books that they feel compelled to enforce. That's what bothers me. And I'm not traveling with an attorney, so it makes it difficult, you know. You can't wash your car on Sunday using old underwear, especially if you're wearing an unusual haircut. I never got the connection there between the haircut and the underwear. But, the other thing that's weird is that chewing tobacco is strictly enforced. That took some getting used to. Oh, what else? You can't photograph a rabbit in the middle of the week for some reason. It's okay on the weekends. I guess they like it better on the weekends. I don't get it. The other thing is that you can't eat someplace that is also on fire. That really limited our choices. Okay, let's see. There's something else. Oh, here's another weird one. You can't get a fish drunk in Oklahoma. They just had a lot of problems with that. They finally had to put an end to it. And you can't make a monkey smoke a cigarette. That's the other thing. I know. Okay, let's see. Do you know that shrimp, this is really disturbing though, but shrimp are, well, they never give anything to charity. I've never known a shrimp to give anything to charity. And it's always bothered me. And finally someone told me, well, you know, basically they're shellfish. And it's gonna happen. Oh, okay. I knew I went too far with that. Thank you for putting a stop to it. Okay, does anybody out there have a parrot, you know? Anybody do you own a parrot is the question. Does anybody in the whole audience own a parrot? Okay, well then you can understand why I went on eBay and bought like a year's supply of parrot diapers. Man, I'm telling you, parrots. I like the conversations, I like the fellowship, but damn, get a grip. Here's a theory that I have, and I'll run it by you just because you're here. And my theory is that if everybody in China on the very same day, at the very same time of the very same day, got up on a ladder and jumped as high as they could and came down on the ground, you know, that it would throw the whole earth off its axis. I haven't been able to get anybody to go with me with that, like the United Nations or anything. Anyway, we should be ready on our side. Pick a day, buy a ladder, get ready. Just to keep things, okay, there you go. Okay, what else? Oh, the graveyard shift. Now, when I was a kid, I always worked jobs at night. And I always had graveyard shifts, you know, and everybody kind of threw that expression around very loosely. And I wondered, what the hell is a graveyard shift anyway? Other than the fact that you're working at night, okay, I know that much, but what's the origin of the expression graveyard shift? And then I worked for a while at a graveyard, and my boss, Joe Crivello, he explained it to me. What happened in the old days, I mean, way back, hundreds of years ago, people were really nervous about being buried alive, you know. Not any more nervous than we are today. It was just that the technology was not really with it. You could be taking a nap and they'd fucking bury you. Right? So there was a law that everybody who got buried had to have a string tied around their wrist in the coffin, and then they'd run it up through the roof of the coffin, and then they'd go up through the dirt, and then they'd go over the branch of a tree on which they would put a bell. And then there's a guy who sits in the graveyard all night long waiting to hear a bell. That's the graveyard shift. And you'll like this one too. The bell and the whole apparatus and everything. You know, if you find a guy who actually is alive in underground, he's called a dead ringer. I'm not kidding. You know, about a year ago, this is really weird, and I don't tell everybody this. During the summer, I ingested some pond water, you know, and it's the weirdest thing. A couple of days later, I started feeling something moving in there, you know. I thought, am I pregnant? I don't know. Anyway, several months went by, and I finally had to go to the doctor. They put an ultrasound on me, and they found 3 toads in my stomach. Oh boy. But you know, they're off to themselves. They're off to one side, and you know, why put them on such a bummer? And it's only a drag when we're watching television, really, you know, when they get really loud, and other than that, you know, I'm fine with them. It's just a thing. Okay, who has the largest brain in proportion to its body? No. The ant. Swear to God. Who has the largest penis in proportion to its body? No. The barnacle, thank you. Okay. Okay, we'll get on to some actual songs in a minute here. There are more insects in 1 square mile of Earth than there are people on the entire Earth. Think about that. More insects in 1 square mile than there are people. Imagine if they got the vote. You know? Or driver's licenses or anything. You know? Okay. Now, do you know what the moon smells like? Wrong again. You'll love this. Fireworks. Yeah. That's what Neil Armstrong told me. It smells just like fireworks, man. And it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? That's why we've been shooting them for all these years. He said it's just crazy up there with the fireworks around there. Do you know how many omelets you can get out of an ostrich egg? 14. That's a lot of omelets. I've gotten along with most of the ostriches that I've met, and okay. Let's see. Oh, here's one. You know the word bamboozled? Didn't you ever wonder what the hell they mean when they say bamboozle? Well, way back, thousands of years ago in China, when you got busted for something, they'd take a piece of bamboo and they'd whack you. You know, if you took like 14 candy bars, you get 14 whacks, you know. And so you see the connection now. Bamboozled, bamboozled. Okay, that's all. One last thing about Sarah Bernhardt, the famous American actress. Hey, she was a babe, man. She was a total babe. She had her own train car, she slept in a coffin, and when she was 70, she was playing Juliet, babe. You know, think about that, Juliet, at 70. And she lost a leg. And when she lost her leg, Barnum and Bailey bought her leg, of course, and put it in formaldehyde and, you know, charged like, you know, $6-8 to come see it. And that was depressing for her, of course, because she was working across the street, you know, the full her. And to know that your leg is over there making more money than you is a little depressing for her. But that's the business. That's the business that we're in. One day, Mo Green got a bullet in the eye, but this is the business that we're in. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Well, you know, I think nowadays it's possible. See my manager, Stuart Ross. But I gotta tell you, my sperm is very expensive now. I'm like a fucking racehorse, baby. Okay, have you wondered why you can never swat a fly? How do they know we're coming? They don't know what a swatter is. So they say, yeah, swatter, come in, swatter. They have no idea what a swatter is. I'll tell you what happens. They take off backwards. It's that simple. They've taken off backwards their whole lives. Okay, that's all. What? What? My health? What? My health is fine, thank you. Okay, all right. You know what? Write it down and pass it forward and we'll take a look at it. So we do in school. Anyway, Neil Armstrong was the first man on the moon who actually walked on the moon, and the guy right behind him on the ladder going down to get to the surface of the moon, now that was Buzz Aldrin. He said, Neil, you are the first man to walk on the moon. I am the very first man to wet his pants on the moon. He said that, really. He did. He said it to me personally. I know Neil and I know Buzz. So there. And you don't. Okay, all right. But then again, Science magazine said that the compression of actual moon rocks, the closest thing that they can find on Earth that is closest to the compression of the rocks from the moon is provolone cheese or Vermont cheddar. I'm not shitting you. I wouldn't shit you. And pig fetuses, you know, they're injecting pig fetuses now with human hormones because they want to use their organs to transplant them into humans, so they want to give them some kind of humanistic juice in there so that when the transfer happens, it'll be a little more commensurate with the, you know, it's crazy. But now pigs, the fetuses are being born with strangely human faces. One looked just like my Uncle Phil, exactly like my Uncle Phil. Even Phil said it looked like him. Okay, all right. I know, all right. All right, we'll get on. Oh, okay. Oh. What was that for? Because we're getting on, right? Oh, I see. You're trying to push me into a song. I know that trick. You know what? You know the problem here? The problem here is that you guys have never worked together before. And you have no actual elected officials. So it's kind of like the early days of America, you know? Everybody's kind of yelling shit out, you know? And somebody going, shut up. What? See? You have no president. This is what we call martial law. Okay, you want another little story or want a song? What do you want? That sounds like a cross between a story and a song. You say you can't get all in line. Get in line, babe. Okay, all right, it's up to me. That's it. I'm gonna have to take over. Let's see. They're down in Oklahoma, went to the Spam Museum. That was really amazing. They've got stuff carved out of Spam. They have portraits of people carved out of Spam. I'd never seen anything like it. But as a Spam fan, I took some of that home with me. And I got some of that in my living room now, like little portraits, you know. Whoa, what is that, Tom? What is that? And I said, it's Spam, it's Spam. The thing is, it never really deteriorates. The smell is not like that it's decomposing. It's impossible for it to decompose. And that's what you're smelling is really the freshness of it. The eternal freshness of it. It's kind of embalmed meat is what it really is. And, okay, all right. What? I read just today, 1 out of every 10 men is important. 1 out of every 10. And then I realized I read it wrong. I went back and it said 1 out of every 10 men is impotent. I don't know how Jesus. I left the R out. So, which are you? You're important or you're impotent? I guess that's all there is to choose from. I don't know about you, but I spent my entire day at the Lost Baggage Center, you know. Have you ever been over there? Fascinating. Things from there, how they advertise it, things from all over the world, you know, at incredible prices. It's lost baggage is basically what it is. If you ever have lost a bag, your bag is there being sold to somebody else. That's right here in Birmingham, I swear to God. So here's the ironic thing. I flew in to go to the Lost Baggage Center early so that I could shop for basically underwear and socks. And they lost my bag. Isn't that crazy? It's just crazy. Okay, here's one that maybe you'll like. Spiders. Spiders are little 8-legged friends. The spider, when the male spider is done building his web, you know, those elaborately beautiful webs that they build at night while you're sleeping, you wake up in the morning, it's glistening and beautiful like that. When he's done building the web, he reaches out one of his legs. We assume it's a leg that he's reaching out. We're not certain, but we assume it's a leg. And he strums the web. And the sound that makes, that's not the actual sound. How can I know the actual sound, okay? But it's not bad, is it? I mean, if you were a female spider, it'd be like... Anyway, what happens is the sound that web makes is irresistible to the female spider. And some of them come in from other states when they hear that. And they get in line for the big guy. So anyway, it's just kind of a kooky thing that happens in the world. In Oklahoma, you can get in trouble for kissing a stranger. Think about that. I mean, you can go to jail for kissing a stranger. I mean, we're all strangers at a certain point. How could the world continue if somebody didn't kiss a stranger? Right? But I travel with an attorney, so... Here's another thing. Hey, you know that a mink and an ermine are the same thing? And then do you know that a mink and an ermine are all members of the weasel family? And if you see a beautiful woman wearing a mink, you can walk right up to her and say, I love your weasel. And she can't slap you. I mean, theoretically, she can't slap you. I would do it with an attorney, though, present at all times. So every time in the world there's a male ejaculation, I know that's a tough word. From now on, we're just going to say it. Whenever it happens, it releases 250 million sperm. Now, only one of those sperm, obviously, can actually fertilize the egg. So, if you're here, you're already a winner. That's the way I feel. Okay, we're gonna do a little story. Just a little story for everybody now. You know what really gets me? When I was in a community that, well, I guess you'd have to say it was a bad neighborhood, and I used to refer to it, and I'd say, you know, Ninth and Hennepin, boy, Ninth and Hennepin, you know. And here's what bothers me. In the meantime, they really cleaned the place up, and every time I said Ninth and Hennepin, people looked at me like I was doing card tricks for a dog, you know. Ninth and Hennepin. And then some guy would say, you know, my wife, she got some sandals down there. They have a little frozen yogurt place. And I went, you could get killed for sandals down there. Anyway. Okay. You know, I've always been a word guy. You know, I like weird words, and I like American slang and all that, and words that are no longer being used. I like to drag them out of the box and wave them around. But this is an interesting one. You know, it's amazing how in addition to punctuation, just a little pause in the wrong place, you know, can just completely transform the meaning of something. I'm gonna give you a really good example. You know, you're at the ball game, and there's the, you got your hot dog, and you look around, and you say, well, where are all the condiments? You know, and they point over there, and you go, oh, okay, there's the condiments. And I'm so glad that they said it like that, because when I heard it, I heard, where are the condom mints? That's just me, and I have to live with me. I didn't say it back to her, or she would have slapped me. But then I thought, well, that's not a bad idea. You know, someone could get a hold of something like that and come up with a whole new product, you know. I just offer it to you tonight, and we'll just wait and see what happens. Okay. What else was I gonna say? Okay. All right, I made one really ridiculous purchase. This is really weird. Somebody took a picture of me, and they said that and they got a picture of my watch, you know? And they said, well, he was wearing a really ratty suit, but you know, I think he had about a $300,000 watch on. I really got a kick out of that. $9.99 at CVS. Okay? But hey, if it looks like $300,000, it is. I'm in show business. Oh, yeah? Oh, okay. Oh, that's good. Oh, you recognize it. Okay. What? Everything. Oh, really? Okay. Play everything. I don't have that much time. Okay, I was out there earlier and I sat in some of those chairs that you're sitting in now. Pretty damn comfortable. Maybe a little too comfortable. You have your own TV? You mean in the chair? You see, some of the seats are better than others. She has VCR and what else? You got an iPod thing there you can hook into. Yeah. Okay. Does your chair vibrate? Well, that's the vibrating chair. I heard it's against the law to have an unusual haircut here. And it's also, you can't buy booze without a note from your wife. That's really weird. You know, I travel with an attorney, of course, so here's another thing, little food thing. You know, every time you get a piece of fish, they give you a little piece of lemon with it, and everybody thinks it's because the flavor is so much better with lemon on it. Untrue. The idea was that when people ate fish originally, they were so afraid of ingesting bones and having the bone caught in their throat and dying. Somebody told them if you put a little lemon in your mouth after you have a bite of fish, it'll kill the bone. It'll dissolve the bone. It'll just disintegrate the bone, which of course is total bullshit, but that's what happened. And now we got lemon and fish and all that. I had a math teacher when I was a kid whose name was Mr. Falvey, and he had a piece of fish during a test we were having, and he choked on a fish bone and he died in the middle of our math test. It was kind of an answer to a prayer that I had made earlier. It wasn't that specific. I didn't mention anything about the fish and the bone, or even on that particular day, but we have a connection, I guess. Okay. I'm sorry, what? You're still working at the airport? I'm happy for you. I'll see you on our way out. Here's a deal. Pardon me? Piano is just on beer and wine now. You know what really bothers me is when somebody tells you that their cell phone is also a camera. I just hate that. You know, what's wrong with having something that's just what it is and being happy about it? It makes me want to say to him, my sunglasses are also a tricycle. But I don't. Okay. Hey, you know, we've been traveling for like 2 months now. It's so weird. The laws change from community to community. It's just bizarre, the kind of laws that are still on the books. That's one of the laws that here in Edinburgh that you can no longer order eggs and sausage. And it's sad, but it's just the way it happened with that new mayor. Try and do this one. Let's see. This is a sun come up, it was blue and gold. Sun come up, it was blue and gold. Sun come up, it was blue and gold. Ever since I put your picture in a frame, I come calling in my Sunday best. I come calling in my Sunday best. I come calling in my Sunday best. Ever since I put your picture in